Okay, so this is going to be a detailed overview, primarily for my insurance purposes, because I do have a lot of stuff in here. And it's a gloomy, gloomy day, raining, storming, and for as long as I can stand, which will only be a few minutes, so you might hear that thing clicking on and off. I can stand and I can walk a little bit, but no more than about 5 or 10 minutes before I have to sit down. So if you see frequent pauses in here, you'll know why. I have to sit down and regroup. Um, I have a spinal problem and pretty much hot mess. Spine is disintegrating. You know the drill. So anyway, it is what it is. All right. I think what I'm going to do, because I can already feel it. I've only been standing for a couple minutes here. All right. I'm going to start with the window. All right. I had my son, we have very high windows here. I had my son install just a little shelf here. And gosh, it's hard to see. Sorry about that lighting, nothing I can do. I do have to fix this. I should have just painted it white, before he put it up, but you know what? You know me, I have the attention span of a gnat and I just want to get things up. So I have to redo it. That is something that I made that says Shema Israel, and it is out of Deuteronomy 6. I am not Jewish, but I do have a heart for Israel as a Christian. And this Shema Israel, is one of the holiest prayers in Scripture. And it stands for, it says Shema Israel Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. And that's about all the Hebrew I know. But anyway, it's Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one. So that's pretty cool. I did that and I just modified it just to hang up here because I don't have the heart to shove it in a drawer. So these are just some of the things that I have made over the years. I'm sorry the lighting really is horrible, but I saw one person on YouTube make these gigantic paper flowers and I just had to do it. I made this out of poster board. The crown I did not make. The little lamp has got like some, what do they call it? Fairy lights, okay? And it really is, it's from the dollar store. And they're little skewer sticks. Well, I got those at a party store. But they're plastic skewer sticks attached with to a champagne glass that's plastic. And then just a round base. And it does turn on, but it's too high for me to get up there. So there's just a few things here. This little tiny Groot, I don't even think you can see, so I'm not gonna go there. But anyway, and my son bought me that because my personality, yeah. Anyway, all right, enough of that. So underneath here are just banker's boxes right here, and I just skirted it. I have my cutters. Actually, they're die cutters. This is my Gemini, and then my I have a Vintage, Sizzix Vintage. It's really old, and in there I just have all of my embossing and stamped because I don't have a whole lot of those. But anyway, these down here, I just have plywood on top of that. I skirted it to make it look decent. These right here are chandeliers that I have yet to hang in my living room and in my studio here. Those were another dollar store find there. The supplies anyway, they're just made out of plastic. When I get it done, maybe if I hang it, I just have to modify it. Anyway, but this has got a whole bunch of cardboard and plastic, extra bottles, you know the drill. But anyway, so there's that. Now let's just start over here. And this is my sewing machine. And I got that back in 1994. And it has served me well. It's a Kenmore 150. And everything still works on here. I did have a little hiccup with it. With the, what what do you call it? The foot pedal. It was making everything go in reverse, but I switched the foot pedal. There was one on Amazon, and it's just as perfect as it was the day that I got it. And my serger. So I've got all the mats. I made these cute little darling, I think they're so cute, pin cushion, and it has all of my, what do you call it? Fasteners, you know, for fabric, whatever. And then I made this for the bobbins. It's a Tostitos jar. So I just hung those on the wall. I think they're cute. I made those during the COVID years, you know. Okay, I have a bunch of fabric here, and the way I do my fabric is I just do it with foam board, and it works really well. So I don't have a whole lot of stash. I do have more behind here because these are two cubbies. They're just stacked side by side because there's no room in this place, and I lost about 6 or 8 square feet of real estate from the last place that I lived at. So when I moved, you know, everybody just put stuff everywhere, and I've been slowly, it's taken me about a year, but I've been slowly getting organized. All right, so this is a painting that I did in, let's see here, I think 1985. Let's see if I can see this. 1985, yep. One of my first paintings. So I always wanted to paint, but I never knew how, and one day I just bought a set of, with my last paycheck on my first job, because they ended it on my 90-day probationary period for, you know, something I will never understand why, but anyway. I went and I bought a set of oil paints, which I still have, just because I kept it because it was for a good memory. But anyway, so I did that, and I haven't painted with oils in a long, long time, but all right, to the supplies. All right, so these are all acrylic 2-ounce bottles of various types. And no, I did not buy these all at once. My stash is cumulative over about 40 years, and I'm 62. So I did make these. I had these are grates from, you know, the cubbies that are made out of grates, and then they have the little closures. Well, I took 4 of those, 2 for this, and then 2 for the other set over there. Because I had it in my head, I wanted to display all of my paints, but you know, I'm on a fixed income, so I can't afford that. So I got this idea of recycled, these are priority mailers, the deep ones. I think they're 3 inches by 2 feet, and I don't know what this is. I'm not going to measure it, but there's 2 of them, and then I just I put the grates in front, and then I made it out of foam core, and I duct tape it to death because you know what? Everything's held together by duct tape. That's the way it goes, you know. So it took a while, but I'm really happy with the way that display turned out. I have more nail polish than I know what to do with. I don't really, you know, use these on my nails. A couple of them I do, but not the crazy colors because, you know, crazy colors look beautiful on dark-skinned people. They look just wonderful, but me, I would look like death warmed over. So I use these for enamel, for resin actually, to put it on the back side of stuff because, you know, it's kind of made of the same stuff, and it works really well, and then I don't have to. This is pre-mica powder, and you'll see my collection that I recently got because I never wanted to spend the money on it. But anyway, I still have labeling to do. I have these little boxes here, primarily for risers for all of these shelves that I have. This is just like lap. I think that's lap board. Yeah, I mean, none of this is secure, so thank God I don't live in earthquake country. But anyway, I still have labeling to do, and but this is what it will look like eventually. All right, so for some of the expensive stuff here, I have a set of Chromatech. This was a splurge for me. I had been binge watching some watercolorists that were using these, and these are highly pigmented, so when they went on sale on Amazon, they were still pretty expensive for supplies that I buy, like 40 bucks or something like that, but they retail for a lot. And so I think it was on like a 50% sale or something like that. But these are super vivid. There's about, I think, 72 of them in here. I did have them in another portable little case, but, you know, ignorantly, I had them all stacked like this. And guess what happened to the ink? Yeah. So anyway, I am rejuicing them because they are literally brand new. Here's just a bunch of random old stamps, little tiny things, and some inks that didn't fit anywhere else. And I am a mixed media artist. I like to do everything because, like I said, I have the attention span of a gnat. I like to try something once just to see if I like it, and then if I like it, I continue. But sorry, I'm getting out of breath here, so I might have to pause and sit down a little bit. Okay, so these are just cheapo little watercolor things. I used to make my own ink. Sometimes I do, but you know, the distressed inks and the alcohol inks and stuff. And from way back when, I had kept these all these years, you know, colors, crayons. These are great for melting with beeswax and mica powder to make, what's it called? Gilding paste. And I'm going to be making some of that soon. And I have a whole bunch of chalk, just a lot of chalk. And I have the rest of another drawer. These are just random, you know, highlighters, glue sticks, you know the drill. Oil pastels, fabric pastels, things that I've had over the years. My son bought me these alcohol markers when he worked for Staples. I don't know why I keep turning everything upside down, but anyway, these are... well, of course, he got an employee discount, but he bought me 3 sets. So while it looks like a lot, there is this one color, or 3 colors, 3 of the same color. So it's one set of, I think, 24. These are just Crayola watercolors. I don't know, I think 72 of those. And I know I suffer from full set syndrome. I have to admit it. These are Art Skills. I got these at Sam's. They're dual tipped. I like those a lot. Yeah, these are the same Art Skills. There are 2 of each. Let's see, what else here? Acrylic markers. They're dual tipped as well. I really like these as well. I do have another set in a portable little art, like an art case. These, one of the best buys that I have made. These come in multiple magnification. I have the rest of them in another place in my craft room. So while it looks like a Bugs Bunny and all I need are ears, they work really well because you know what? The eyes, as you get older, you know where they go. Jelly plates. Okay, so I have these, and I had hopes one day of buying a large plate, like a 12 by 12, but I refuse to spend that kind of money. I just can't do it. I do have a recipe to make your own gel plate, and that's what I started out with. I made one of my own, and then it turns out that I really liked it, so I splurged again when they went on sale to get 2 5x7s. So I keep that there, and then to wash all of my little tools and brayer and stuff like that, I just keep one of those little silicone, it just pops up. It's collapsible. It's really made for an air fryer to roast chicken, but it's so small you can't use it for cooking. You know, more random stuff here. Alcohol ink. Okay, so thank God I only have enough to fit exactly in one of these because I have no more room for display cases. And I recently got these display cases. They were 2 for $9.99. How can you turn that down? I mean, they were on sale, of course, but they're 3 shelf risers that came 2 in a pack, and I'm super happy with them. You know, they didn't arrive damaged, which is always a good thing. All right, here's the other set of acrylics. No, I did not make these, but I did make, this is darling. I think it is anyway. I'm going to toot my own horn. I made this for a nursing home project for Valentine's Day, and it says, John 3:16, my heart overflows with love for you. And I just thought that was super cute. So anyway, I made those a long time ago. Sorry for the shadows. I did 3D print this Hebrew, and I think it's really pretty. This is the Hebrew letter that represents Yahweh, our Father in heaven. This I did make, super cute. It's a swing made out of clothespins. Just adorable. I made my sister one too because she didn't have a garden and she was losing all of her plants. So for her birthday, 75th birthday, I made her that one. And I made one for myself too. This is what I did with another teapot, little tiny teapot. These teapots are meant for Ferrero Rocher, little candies. But it says, the Lord is my portion and cup. I think that's out of Proverbs. But I just put some fake flowers in there, and I thought that was so cute. So anyway, that sits up there. These are roses that I made from egg cartons, paper egg cartons, and I do have a tutorial on my channel for that. So they turned out really, really super pretty. I made my own distressed inks and oxide inks, water reactive inks. And somewhere in this drawer I have the supplies. But these are oxide sprays. And I made these out of Wilton food coloring gel and, of course, distilled water and or alcohol. You know, I just experimented with each one. So it doesn't have alcohol and water in it, but either or. And then some titanium oxide or zinc oxide. That's what it is. And it's used in makeup to whiten makeup. Here's another set of the distress sprays. And I love, love, love these little bottles. I think I bought like 50 of them in a pack or 40 of them. And they work really, really well. So those are all empty. My son made these origami things. I keep things from my kids. He made this when he was 9. Isn't that adorable? And this little thing right here, if I can get it without tearing anything else down. So cute. So yeah, he's a good man. He is now my PCA, my care attendant. So yeah, I raised both wonderful kids. Got into rock painting, but I didn't like it that well, so I never did another one. This little thing, the reason I got a vintage is because it does metal. And this is a soda can, you know, pop can, whatever you want to call it. So I recycle those and as much as I can so that I can make metal embellishments and stay up there. A friend gave me all of these. I did not make those. All right, let's see. Where are we at? Oh, where would I be without that? I got that on Temu. Not the top portion. That was a dollar store. This was at Temu. And I just love these I have another one in my living room. I did make this, but that was back before I could, I didn't have, this is regular vinyl. I didn't have iron-on vinyl, and this was just salvaged from a different project that I did at a different place that I lived at. All right, so I have 2 microscopes. One has a screen on it, which is really pretty cool. And this one is a, for diamond setting, you know, gemstone setting, and this was not cheap. I think I spent a few $100s on that, at about $40 on this one, because it's got the highest resolution you can have for one of those. So, okay, the drawers, these back here, honestly, these are just Sterilite containers, or the stackable ones. And I'm not even going to go into that because it's just a hot mess. It's just for storage. Nothing critical. All right, let's get to the good stuff. All right, so underneath here, I have skirted, you can tell, because I don't like the way that this looks. I had that for a long time, and I'm like, I just can't stand looking at it every time I come into the room. So I have project boxes that I put extra supplies in. And, you know, like this is like everything to do with bead making, all right? So I'll have duplicates of different stuff and random things. Like these are eyelets, and I got a few straws in here. I have ribbon, curling ribbon from the dollar store, tape, you know, just random stuff to make things with. I guess we're hitting the shadows anyway, aren't we? All right, so let's see here. All right, so this is just another project box with some paper angels in it from Doilies. Let's see here. I do my own nails. I started during COVID, you know, because, you know, they're expensive now, and I just can't afford it. So I just bought the supplies to do it. You know, it's no big deal when I do my nails. These are all my bead storage. I did have them in fishing tackle boxes and those little organizers, but I decided to take a couple of project boxes and put them in one, in tiny little bags, you know, by color, size, you know, whatever, because I don't really do much for jewelry making anymore as far as beads. So they're pretty much for making ephemera. Okay, so, all right, this is a UV light station for the resin projects. This is just random stuff. This is for if the stencils and stuff that I do for jelly plates don't fit in here. This is just a washing basin, just a recycled food tray. And I put my jelly plate on this so that it doesn't slide around, and then I can flip it. I don't know, one day I'll do a tutorial. It's just, you know, cheap stuff from the dollar store. This, however, I was going to take out. I don't know if I can do this with one hand. Maybe if I take everything else out. Okay. Oh my goodness. All right. So take this off. This is my paint box that is unfortunately packed with all sorts of stuff. But I didn't have anywhere to spray my stuff or do acrylic pours. And I know, oh my goodness, I need coffee. I knew that I wanted to do things on a small scale because, well, first of all, the expense, and then where am I going to put it? I'm running out of wall space. So what I have here is I just have a baking grate, a couple of them, you know, to lift up the acrylic pour. And because this is plastic and acrylic paint pulls right off, it's just genius, and it works really, really well. So I kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I can get really pretty flow painting. I can get really pretty pours, and then at the end, I just let it dry, and I have skins. And if I ever wanted to clean this off, then, you know, I do it with a baby wipe. Save the baby wipe because they will be colored, and you can use them in fabric projects. So yeah, it's not like I hoard things, but you know what? Craft supplies are expensive. So, you know, you just get creative. I mean, that's half the fun, you know. So let's continue on here. Oh, come on now. I knew that if I pulled this apart, it wouldn't fit. Come on. Okay, not going to argue with it. All right, I'll fix it later. So, over here, moving on, I have these, by the way, these tabletops are just doors, okay? Standard doors. Actually, the other side is a standard door. This is a closet door. So they're 6 feet long by, or 6.5 feet long, I think, by, oh, what is it? 2.5 feet, something like that. 3 feet. On the other side, I have, I think it's a 4 by 6.5. Whatever the standard door sizes are, I apologize for that. But I got them at Home Depot. They weren't cheap, but, you know, it's worth it. So I only have one door on top of here for a desktop. On the other side, I have 2. Okay. This over here is miscellaneous supplies, you know, just extra little tiny jars and bottles. And some handmade, oh gosh, what is it called? Texture plates. Okay, I have a tutorial on how to make your own texture plates for jelly printing. And that is out of caulk, just regular old caulk, C-A-U-L-K, and baby powder and some glue, and I don't know, there's a tutorial on there somewhere. This is just some personal jewelry. I like vintage jewelry. This right here is all soap making supplies and essential oils. A kit of those, because I make my own soaps. More jewelry. One day I'll show you the stuff that I have done. Okay, let's get through these drawers first. All right, so on this side, there's nothing to write home about. This is just my wood collection. I'm going to go through these quickly because there's no point. I save the toilet paper rolls, not all of them, but a lot of them, and paper towel rolls because you never know when you're going to need them. This is just random poster board and netting, and oh, the shadows are terrible in here. And foam board scraps because you never know when you're going to need that stuff. And just some, do I have my extra plates in here? I don't know, just some random stuff. I really do need to clean these out. I've got a paper cutter, some foam tape, my random scissor collection. I think every crafter on the planet, when these first came out, how many years ago? 40? Yeah, something like that. So that was a Sam's collection a while back. And okay, let's just go through these real quick. Okay, gosh. Oh, sorry about that. I don't mean to complain, but I'm going to have to sit down for a little bit. Okay, I've got a bunch of these, and I have some cutting mats in here, and my extra boards for my Sizzix and my Gemini. So, you know, I just kind of rotate them every once in a while because they get all used stuff. I have a poster board in there. Just random stuff that I have for resin making and paper making and all sorts of stuff. This is just a hot mess in here. Random things. 6x6 paper because I have nowhere else to put it. And just some projects that I made, extra, a whole bunch of bags that I don't know what I'm going to do with yet. But anyway, just extra supplies here that don't fit anywhere else. And, oh my goodness, okay. So napkins, you you know, just dollar store stuff, random dollar store stuff. And I use most of this stuff for resin, sometimes for gift giving, you know. I just keep that kind of stash on hand. Okay, and in this drawer, this is the fun stuff. These, obviously, I have to still organize some of my supplies, but these would be rather expensive to replace if I ever had to. This is before I, you know, got official, you know, craft supplies. I would tend to make my own, like, embossing powder out of and enameling out of dollar store, the LA Colors eyeshadow. And I still do use these, you know, so I have a bunch of random things in here. I got a collection of these at Goodwill. There was like 40 jars of this. It's like an insane amount. And so I don't know how old they are, but pretty old because it had this in it, you know, and it still works though. I mean, just amazing. I mean, it's a little goopy. And then I have homemade clear embossing powder. I think I do have a tutorial on that. Not sure, but if I don't and you want it, then I'll maybe do something on that. These are just between Hobby Lobby and Walmart. All of the glitters, I like them because, you know, there's a bunch of them in here. Oh, I guess these are dollar store. Yeah. And then, of course, you got the regular Michael's Hobby Lobby, you know, glitter and embossing powders. So, yeah, crushed glass glitter. Can't believe how expensive these are, but I usually get stuff on sale, so I don't like to spend a whole lot of money on craft supplies. What really makes me my happy place is when I can duplicate something that's been real expensive, you know, and then I share it with people. So this is super old, but useful for resin. If you put a black backing on this, it looks like a fake opal. And likewise, you can put a white backing on it with resin, and that will also look like an opal. You got to do a little bit more to it, but pretty much the same thing. When I didn't have any mica powder, I just bought a whole bunch of these. And these are just eyeshadow. And that's all it is. It's mica powder. That's it, you know, and of course, you know, things to make it stable for when you use it and apply for makeup, but these are great for crafting. Great. These I have had for, I don't know, 30, 40 years. Seriously, that old. This was a Walmart special. These I've had, you can tell how long I've had these by the price. I don't know if this has it on here, but one of them, I think it says, what is it? One of them was like 17 cents. When have you ever? It was like an old Ben Franklin. This was in Minnesota. Ben Franklin, back in the day, like 40-some thousand years ago when they had it, they would have stuff for like 29 cents and 17 cents on sale and, you know, just ridiculous stuff. Oh, what did I do here? Okay. All right. I usually use Totally Awesome. I don't know what is in this stuff, but it cleans up everything. It cleans up desktops. It's this stuff right here. And it smells a little bit, but you can get the orange cleaner, works just as well. And I like to use natural stuff because I have a problem with skin issues and allergies and all that fun stuff, you know. So anyway, back before I got stamps, I still don't, well, no, I did recently get some pigment ink, but I made my own. And the way you make your own is with equal parts of watercolor paint and gouache and glycerin. And then you put it in a little pad, you know, in these pads, just specifically made for stamping. So I got a collection of those. I got the Walmart special dye inks, which are just like pretty much worthless, but I have them. And I keep them because they stack. And I figure I can always replace the contents if it goes bad. Again, more makeup scraps, you know, just coffee is for staining paper and tea bags and stuff like that. So, yeah, I've got this. This really made me angry. This was a Temu special, you know? I just really hate false advertising. And I cannot believe I spent $4.99 on this. I mean, oh, it made me so mad. I was waiting like 6 weeks for it. And I think this was $2.99. Let me see if I can open this. This is absolutely outrageous. Kind of hard to open with one hand, but I think I can get an entire brush stroke out of each color. Come on now. My intention was to use this to make, oh, what is it called? The wax gilding paste. But there's not enough to do any of that in here. So, I don't know. It just false advertising. Get what you pay for. All right. And then there's just a bunch of random sponges and stuff like that. These I made out of bottle caps. Water bottle caps. And just, I think there's a marble in here underneath this. There's a marble inside of a, or did I put no, this is a marble because it's nice and heavy. But you can put a wooden bead in there, and then you just wrap the foam around it, and you hot glue it in. There you go. You cut apart a bottle. Yep, works really well. This is the glorious drawer. This is an Amazon special. They kept messing up my orders, and so they kept giving me credits. And you know what? I keep taking them because they're a quadrillion-dollar company, and if they want to keep sending me free stuff for screwing up on purpose, that's on them. Anyway, I haven't even used these yet. I haven't made samples, but this... I had these. Let's see if I can find the one that I had. Yep. Everything gets small and the price just keeps going up. All right. This I had for many, many years. And by many years, I mean decades. I think I had these back in the 90s. They still work. Okay, so they're disintegrating. They are... I should just throw them away. But they're not moldy or anything. They still have pigment in them. I mean, they are just a sorry, sorry mess. But anyway, same company. And look how small they are compared. You know, they're like a ½ inch smaller. But anyway, so yeah, I didn't have to pay for these. So I ordered them with a credit, and I'm going to be taking some swatches. I discovered a hack for embossing powder, and it's direct to film, DTF transfer powder. This is what professionals use when they do sublimation. There'll be a future video on that, for a hack for that. And so what they do is companies just buy this stuff in bulk, and they put them in tiny little jars, and they charge a small fortune. This cost me $8. $8 for how many ounces? 100 grams. That's a lot, okay? So anyway, I got... a black set, black powder and white powder, which means, you know, clear. So anyway, and then this collection of mica powders. This was another special. So this whole drawer is like $100, a little over that. But again, thank you, Amazon, for screwing things up. But anyway, I got these, and now I don't have to use eyeshadow, okay? I have a drawer of adhesives, as you can see. Everything adhesive you could ever want, and then some, you know, some, oh gosh, there's like every adhesive. The spray adhesives are like for fabric or, to tack stuff together. Just random stuff in here that I have had over the years. Tacky glue, tack it over and over again. Great for diamond art painting. This is a hand sanitizer for, I don't know, I think it's leftover stash from the COVID years, but I use it for jelly prints. This is a drawer of also adhesives, but primarily tape and cable ties and, like aluminum tape down here, duct tape, clear tape, packing tape, washi tape, double-sided tape, more painter's tapes, duct tape, you name it. Magnets. These are all magnets. Yep. And these are punches. So I have an envelope maker. I have a couple of other punches there. I have a crocodile-like crocodile. It's not a crocodile, but it is an eyelet maker with 3 and 5 millimeter eyelets in there. That works really well. These I can't find the cutter to. One day I will. Just got random, doilies and some fishing wire and a couple of tools there. Okay, in this drawer, I have, everything. Mostly watercolor and acrylic. This is all acrylic. This is a double set of that. I have some cheapo watercolors, some watercolor papers of different weights. The first watercolor thing I have ever had, which I can't get open, but you know what this is, I'm sure, if you do watercolors. Let's see if I can, there you go. Those, but you know what? They still work. So why get rid of them? All right, and then Japanese printmaking. This is some DIY Magic White. It is gesso, paint, and glycerin, a 1-to-1 ratio. So this is for making acrylic stick. This is prior to, what did I do this with? I put, well, it's in my watercolor tray, so I must have used it with watercolors. But anyway, it works wonders. It just coats it and prepares the canvas so that it doesn't leak through the other side. Here's some more stuff here, just random things. My homemade resist spray. And I don't know, there's a tutorial on that too. I have some forceps in here. Palettes. I have a palette specifically for alcohol inks, because you know what? Why waste them? See if I can get this open with one hand. Here we go. Come on. Oh my goodness, come on now. And it's really not. Not worth the trouble. It's not worth waiting for. It's not, really. Seriously? Oh, come on. I finally got it open. Anyway, I just put when I do alcohol painting, I just put it in little trays. And then, the way you resaturate this is with 91% isopropyl alcohol. So, yeah, it still works. And if it works, why not use it? All right, linseed oil, mask making paste, gum arabic for making your own paints, just random stuff. This, if you don't know this, propylene glycol is an acrylic paint retarder, which means if you add just a little bit of this to your acrylic paints, and I do mean a little, and by a little I mean like a drop. Like if you have a quarter size splotch of acrylic paint, put in 1 drop of this stuff. It'll last you forever, and it will retard the paint so that it won't dry, quicker. So this is a good hack. If you want your acrylic painting to look and act like an oil painting, this is your trick right here. So if you didn't know that, all my brushes, or most of them, and tools, just a random thing. I have to recharge this, but this is a UV light. It stands on a little tiny stand right here, a magnetic stand. Well, not nice. It just picked it up. So anyway. All right, so just random stuff like that. A little tiny whisk for doing resin. Got an extra alcohol thing in there. Glue all, spray adhesive. Yeah, just random tools. And every brush known to mankind for watercolor, acrylic, and oil. So I've been collecting over 40 years, so there's quite a bit. This, okay. This has got fabric paint in this bin. More fabric paint. Tester's paint. The stinky stuff, but it's still good. So why not keep it? This stuff is, Jewelers. Why am I having such a hard time talking today? This is like a jeweler's gel for resin, all right? So there's like crushed sapphire, I can see that I've had these for like 20, 30 years, something like that. But this is zinnia. Must be a yellow. This is amethyst. Okay, these are crushed amethyst. There's crushed rubies. There's crushed a lot of stuff in here. And then some of them are just random. But these are very, very, very old. But they still work. Back here, I'm not going to go through all of these, but this is the gallery glass stain that I have the door of my studio made from. There's some puffy paint and random other stuff. But you know what? I tend to save these jars because they're really good for other things. Glycerin. Yes, for everything. All right. Let's see. I think that's it for that drawer. Electronics drawers. Okay. So everything electronic that I would need. Oh, this is a label maker that I got on Amazon. I really like it. It just spits it out. And I always thought the thermal printers were no good, but they have changed quite a bit. Because, I think thermal printers, I think of fax machines, and the ink fading over time, but that's not the way it is. It comes out perfect every time. Anyway, this titanium dioxide, let me zoom in here. This is what I use to make the distressed oxide inks from, or the sprays. And they work really, really well. But this is my collection of oil paints that I have had for so many years. They're super heavy. And they're the huge, huge tubes. So, yeah, in today's market, they would be quite pricey to replace because I have about 20 of them in here, between here and here. So, that is that drawer. Moving along to under the window. Yeah, this video is going to be super long, but there's no way I can help that. So, I just have a couple of books up here, but I have my Gemini and all of the plates that go underneath it to weigh it down. And I have, trying to get to this so that it doesn't spill. I have a vintage Sizzix, a full-size machine here, and I have a little tiny one too, but this is my collection of, stamps. I have black cardstock. I generally use like blank index cards for when I do stamping card faces, watercolor, acrylic, jelly, you name it. A collection of embossing folders. I'm not going to go through each one of these. It's just not going to happen. But anyway, this is just my small collection of stamps. And they fit nicely in here. They're packed to the gills. There's no room for anything else, but that's okay with me. So I will shut this up. I will put this back and this back. Okay. All right, moving right along. This right here, and I'm probably going to have to edit this in post, but these are just tackle boxes of findings, and there's my journals up there. I have a laminator. I have a creative station, a sticker station that does 8.5 by 11 sheets. And way down there I have a Cameo. All right. And just real briefly here, these are, I do have an embroidery machine, but these are just like maybe 8 by 8 inch panels that I was experimenting on, and I just thought that they would be really pretty. So I haven't finished framing them, but that's okay. So I have a mirror and my messy tabletop. So I'm going to, I have the other one on the other side of my room. I have it attached to the wall right here, and that's what I'm going to do with this one. But here's my my Cricut Explore Air 2. Just love it, but it's not functional because of the lamp right here. Just random supplies here. Oh, also, I did make this. This is a really beautiful card base that I have die cuts for. And I use that to put in some glue sticks, which I have hundreds in a drawer. Well, probably not hundreds anymore, but anyway. And then I just stack up all of my stamp platforms and, whatever I have here. I put them in a file, a tray. So that works for now. Coming along the bottom, that's one of my sons. Coming along the bottom, this is what I did. I still have, this desk is a work in progress, right? But I needed to have another layer here for a deck, all right? And I realize it looks like a hot mess, but I wanted to have my laptop underneath here. I wanted to have my stamp platforms and, just random cutters. I have a Cricut light box. I have the, the platforms and the embossers and stuff like that. And what I did was just because I needed more space. There's just like no space here. So originally I had just this, and it looked really nice. I only had one thing, but I wanted to put my laptop, instead of it always sitting on the top and collecting dust and just a lot of stuff. I wanted a clear desktop, and so I took some votive candle holders and some, the plastic bubble wrap. I hot glued that to that. Then I took some, you see, I don't know if you can see this or not. Maybe you can see it better from the top. But I hot glued on the bottom of the votive candle, I hot glued some shelf liner so that it wouldn't move around. And what I did is it made this double-decker thing. So this original one is just a plastic hose, actually. It's a clear plastic tubing that I got off of Home Depot. And I wish I would have thought of this genius idea before, because it could have saved me a lot of headache. You know, I would have had more room. But anyway, so I made those, and I made this, you know, several layers, which I really like. It hides everything, as you can see, and everything is out of sight, out of mind, you know? All right, so let's quickly go through the rest of these drawers, because I am quite sure you're tired of this video. I know I am. Oh, this was the gallery glass that I was talking about. Now, I painted this some, oh my goodness, back in 2000. Wow, that would be 25 years ago. That's a long time. But anyway, I love this. It's my stained glass. I did it on my dining room table when my children were really young. And it says, enter his gates with thanksgiving, enter his courts with praise. So this is a very, very old piece. And it still is beautiful. It's not ripped. It has stood the test of time. And I just love it. It's got a couple of rips on there, but I can't find anything to put it in any frame large enough. So I literally just redneck it on the top of a door, you know. Okay, now we have come to the main desk, and I also have more project boxes here, but the way I have these, see, the tabletop is a door, a standard size door like this one, okay? And it just doesn't have the engraving on it. I got these at Home Depot. I think they were like, I don't know, 50, 60 bucks or whatever. And I just couldn't find anything large enough. So yeah, I was stuck with these, and I couldn't get to an IKEA, and I just needed to maximize the space. Anyway, they work. So I have one here, a door here, and I have a door here. They are put together with a timber or a 3.5 by 3.5 inch post, and then I had them cut to the length of the door. And so what I have with these is I have project boxes similar to the other side, but since this only fits one in here between the space here, there's one behind it. So what I've done is I've just labeled it because I got tired of dragging them out all the time. So this is an empty project box. No, it's not empty, but it's a work in progress. So if I ever want to take something and work with a friend, I just pile it all in an empty one. Behind that, I have ephemera. Let's see if I can, oh, I can't really get this out, but I can show you. Let me try this one. Yep. Okay, so here's all my floral ephemera. Again, you know, just a collection of many years of just random ephemera, floral, card making. Put this back here. This right here, I had all my diamond art drills and supplies in project boxes, and I still do, but they are in a closet behind that beautiful stained glass, faux stained glass painting, and I'll show you that in a minute. So let me just see if I can show you how I do my, not going to take these apart all the way. I have a tutorial on this. This is just like a trapper keeper for school that I found at Goodwill. Brand new. I mean, you know, crazy. So I think I got it for like $3.99, and there's no reason to spend 20 bucks on a thing on Amazon, brand new, when it's just for this kind of stuff. These are business card holders, and I have all my diamond drills in there so that when I finish with my projects, and I have about 6 ongoing projects and 6 paintings that I'm working on that fit in here. All right, so I've kitted everything up. I have you know, organized everything. And then when I finish them, well, here's extra ones, you know, in case I just have extras of everything. You know how it works. All right, and then when I actually pull out a painting to do it, then I have it in this tiny one. And this is just one painting. So when I'm finished with it, it goes back into this, and then it'll go into that closet over here. And yeah. And then I have, back there, I have some vinyl scraps. And yeah, why stress myself out by reaching when I can just zoom in? Works for me. Okay, let me see if I can put this back. These fit in here nicely. And in a perfect world, I would have homes for all this. But you know what? You have to get creative when you don't have a whole lot of room. And I'm like, well, I have no place for my tools. So I was at Dollar Tree and I bought some kitty litter boxes. And they're plastic. I have yet to remake this. I'm going to cover this with a decoupage so that it is stronger. But I put 2 of them together to make it strong. And this is where I keep all of my tools, my glue gun, my heat gun, my coffee warmer, you know, just random stuff. And behind that, I'm not going to take that out because this tray is a little bit too heavy right now for one hand. But underneath there, I have my tools, and then I have, during the COVID years, I still have patterns for masks and all the material to go with that. So let me go over here. And on the top here, I have a RIT permanent and fabric dye in the back. And then I've got UV resin dyes. I'm just gonna pull out the stuff in here. This is what I had for mica powder, but now I just use it for resin. And these resin colors here, and then random tools and supplies to make jewelry, resin jewelry. And there's some tiny little jewelry molds in there. And then I have a bunch of, like I said, RIT dye, the fabric dye. And let me see if I can just pull that out, because it's, hold on one second. Okay, since this is for insurance purposes, I decided to pull this out. So this box is filled with a bunch of RIT dye, half a dozen of those. I think maybe 8 of those. And then this is dye ink for, or pigment ink rather, for tie-dye. And I have a project coming up. I have these endless projects and another, you know, endless videos here. But it's good to learn because I am going to try and experiment with sublimation and embossing powder with this little box of goodies here. So stay tuned for that. All right, let's move right along here. In here I have my clays, my polymers, and more resin stuff. These are the jewelry molds, coaster molds, and you know, more supplies there. That little box right there is just like findings, like foil, little tiny dried flowers, you know, etc. Anything. They're embeds is what they are. And let me see if I can put this over here. Back here, I have every clay you could ever want, including some stuff to make your own porcelain clay. So I've got a bunch of caulk. I've got air-dried clay. I have paper clay. I have polymer clay, the whole collection. I have baby powder, baking soda, you name it. Everything is in here to make anything clay. All right. So moving right along here, I have all of my sewing, and I have a tackle box of just everything I've ever accumulated over my 62 years. Okay, well, then I would be in the womb, but 50 years. Let's go there. So since I was 10 or 12, this is what I have. And so I just put everything in there. There are, because once I became an adult and I condensed, I just threw everything in one box, all of the like items. So I have extra presser feet in there, extra thread, some seam binding. Here's more feet, specialty feet for the sewing machine. The DMC colors for embroidery thread, and the tools to for tatting. All right, I made this right here. It's a cross. I don't want to take it out because it's just too cumbersome. But I have all of that in there. And the glorious drawer of ribbon. Okay, I used to have all this stuff hanging on the wall, and I got so tired of looking at it. Looking at all of those ribbon rolls. So during the COVID years, I spent some quality time disassembling and ripping out and just redoing all of these. And I just put them in here in these drawers. I do have more, sadly. I do have more ribbon, but you know, for right now, this is my stash. The stuff that was oversized and didn't fit, you know, like the stuff you get at Sam's for, you know, wrapping trees and stuff like that at Christmas time, and just other floral. Those are in another cubby. That's another story. Okay, let's see here. This is my stabilizer drawer for embroidering, and a bunch of other stuff too. So I have some interfacing. I have some, let's see, water-soluble stabilizer, meaning you do the embroidery stuff, you stick it in water, it disappears. It's kind of pricey. I hardly ever use it because there's no room to set up my embroidery machine, and it's, you know, unfortunately in a closet. This is a pom-pom maker, and I think this darling little, I'm not a big crocheter. I have tried. Let me get this out here. Hold on a second. Okay, so I saw a video tutorial on these. Look at how cute he is. The little jellyfish. Oh my gosh. I just had to make one. I mean, it's super simple, easy. My hands hurt like crazy after I'm done because, you know, a lot of issues there, but I didn't have any of the eyes or anything like that, and I didn't have the right material. So this is just leftover yarn, just standard regular cotton yarn. But these are paper fasteners and little washers from like the hardware store. I thought it was so cute. So I made several of those. And see, that's all they are. Just paper fasteners. So this is all of my pom-pom making stuff. And let's see here. Let me put this back before I make a hot mess. And I have, truth be told, I opened these while I had it on pause. This is a leather kit, leather working kit, which quite honestly, I haven't even used yet. So, but that's a nice little kit. And, oh gosh, this right here, I got this at Goodwill. Look at that, $1.99 for a button ear. How many of you have a button ear? This is really dating me. This has got to be 5 decades old. I don't even know if they make them anymore, but it's all intact. It's like a vintage piece here. And then, of course, I've got all the software for my embroidery machines and all the directions there. And I bought one of these because I thought it would make it easier. An ergonomic, and it does make it easier. This is a rechargeable crochet thing with every imaginable hook. So yeah, because I found that while I have these. It was just too hard on my hands. So anyway, we've got that. And I don't know what happened to the other one here, but I will find it somewhere, I am sure. So, got that. Moving along. Okay. Now we've got a bunch of zippers. Okay, camera, don't give me a problem. We got a bunch of zippers. And we've got some eyelets in here. Some random hair ties for the mask making COVID years. A little, what is this called? It's for getting, you know, the, I can't think, I'm so sorry. It's for getting the fuzzies off of things, and they work really well. So this is just a bunch of random stuff, zippers, vintage zippers, and like for pillows and pipe cleaners, trim, you know, you name it, punches, anything fabric basically. And I have to use this. This is just a box I keep personal stuff in. Okay. I guess 2 drawers want to come out. This is another, I don't know why I'm having a trouble focusing now, but let's hope it will work. Okay. This is where I have everything, I don't know, ephemera. I don't even trim. Sequins, rhinestones, you name it. I have it here. And I've had it for so many years, but these are spice jars that I had collected, and back before. Now, I don't know what I did to make this not focus. It was acting just fine. But do you know what these are? These are straws. And these were little flowers that I made. There's just a dab of hot glue on the inside, and then I just painted the flowers whatever color I wanted with acrylic paint, and I put them on cards and tags and stuff like that. So yeah, you can take anything and make anything from it. So there's all that. So, oh my goodness. All right, we're on the last drawer of the left bank. All right, so I tried my hand at, what is this stuff called? I don't know. It's where you poke fabric in felt. Gosh, I am really embarrassing myself here. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. Felting. It's called felting. Oh my goodness. Oh Lord. And I have found another container. Oh, these containers are multiplying like bunnies. I just don't know. See what I mean? I have random things of that. These were the skewers that I made the little chandelier with. Yeah. I have all of my embroidery hoops here. And just random stuff that needs to be put in other drawers, I think, you know? Yeah, I think that would be a really, really good idea. All right, moving along to the last bank of IKEA drawers. We have a hot mess in here. I just put some random stuff in here and it's literally jumping out of the drawer. Okay, I have to rearrange this, and I don't know, while I was doing my stuff, I just thought, I can't bear to throw this away. Okay, this, if you haven't recognized from my channel, is called Japanese Mamagami, and this is handmade paper. I do have an entire playlist on how to make this. It turned out absolutely beautiful with all of the shimmer and the color changing paint. So if you want to know how to do that, if you're interested, please go look for that playlist. This has just got some random tools in here, and I really just have to reorganize. So we are going to attempt to shove this back in here, and one day I'll have an updated video maybe. All right, more chalk that wouldn't fit on the other side over there. Just some random tools. Clay cutting tools, which probably should be on the other side. Jeweler's loop. I have some, let's see, a deep cut blade for my silhouette cameo. A timer. I've got some, let's see, I don't even know if they make these anymore. It's a rhinestone hot press, you know, so that you can affix those rhinestones to fabric. Yeah, just a bunch of random stuff here used for mixed media. Okay. Another drawer just full of, yeah, just random things. We have some labels here. And I'm sorry for the shadows again. Some bookbinding material, which probably should go with the leather stuff on the other side, but I will get to that. Just some soldering stuff. Stuff to take apart phones, to fix phones, because why not? We just got some, you know, a receipt book. Oh, food coloring. Oh, good place for it, right? And batteries. All right, this is what I use to make the distressed inks that I have. So, yeah, these are amazing. They do not take much at all. So I'm not going to take them out, but I do have a full set of those. And they work super well. All right, you know, staples, random soldering stuff, butane soldering thing, clay. Oh, I don't know why that did that. Okay, it says it's low power. Sorry about that. I don't know if I can edit that part out. I was looking at the clay tools here. I had a pop-up come and say that there's a low battery on my phone, so I better hurry up with this. All right, let's see here. Random DIY things here. For example, the clear gesso. Oh, made in 1918. Yeah, no, 2018. Oh my goodness. And I use this to make clay from, clay molds rather. I like this stuff. This is amazing mold putty. Here's some glazing gel that was also made. But you know what? It still is working. Just got it in an airtight container. Yeah, and some homemade Mod Podge super high gloss that I made with glue and varnish. This might need to be reconstituted, but then I use this, believe it or not, to make texture paste. I put in like tacky glue or any kind of PVA glue in here, and I make, if I want to do it colored, I put in mica powder, but otherwise it's just baby powder. And it makes the most wonderful texture paste. And it's cheap because that's from the Dollar Tree. Just random stuff here. I used to do custom engravings, so I have some samples in here of what I used to do when I sat at malls and made good money, but wish I could do it again. But I digress. All right, just some tools in here randomly. Let me shove this here before I get a notification on my phone again. All right, so I have my foiling. I have a foil pen. I have all of the adhesives and the foil in there. I have random molds that I have made from that amazing mold putty. This is just some Hebrew letters. I have a cookie cutter there. These are molds that were, you know, see at Walmart, purchased there. This is a project, I'm not going to take it out, but a project that I'm working on here. It's just some other random clay molds. This is, you can also use this for, oh my goodness, polymer clay, or you can use it for air dry clay, any kind of clay, really. And just, I keep one of these in here just to scrape everything off. One last drawer, I think. Random stuff, racks, painting, canvas blanks. Well, it's not really a blank, but it's a picture I never finished. I suppose I should one of these days. So this is an oil painting. All right, and last but not least, I have my bead. Now, underneath all of my IKEA desks, or my IKEA drawers, I have these right here, the tote covers, right? And they're good for sliding out. See, I have them under each of my IKEA drawers. And if I can do this, this is where I keep my bead station, all right? This is just two random, well, they're not random. They're two covers to plastic totes, but the plastic totes bit the dust a long time ago. And yeah, this is where I keep my beads when I used to do jewelry. I haven't done this in quite a while, so yeah. But anyway, that's what I do, and then I just shove it underneath there, and I don't have to look at it. All right. Okay, so there you go. I am not gonna, oh, I have one more. I forgot the closet. Oh, dear heavens. Stay tuned. Now, how could I forget this hot mess? Okay, so where I live, this is a master bedroom. It's got a bunch of stuff in here. Random paperwork, random books, random everything, just about. So, but this, I have the over-the-door hangers, and I have storage. So I love these because they fit a lot of stuff in there. So you can just pause if you want to take a look at what I have. These weren't cheap. The over-the-door things were about, I don't know, I think $40, but I got them while they were on sale. I've got random adhesives in here, brush cleaner, and some fluid art painting. Sorry, have an airbrush and rubber gloves and just random stuff. All right, in here, another hot mess. All right, this is not supposed to be here, but this is just a drill. I have all my engraving supplies and my airbrush compressor and stuff to do custom engraving there. I do have two mini 3D printers, which are buried underneath everything else right now, but they work really, really well. I have an embroidery machine, a Singer Futura embroidery machine. It is a, I am not sure of the model on here, but I haven't used it in a couple of years. Brand new, just about. And just a winder here and some other sewing stuff that I have on this shelf. This is where I have all of my diamond art. Diamond art here, here, and here. These are just random drawers of supplies that I have to go to. These are all of my die cuts. So I keep them in here because I have nowhere else to put them. I have my stencils in another book over there. I have dried flowers up on top, and I have a box of just like tissue paper, gift bags, etc. Up here is just some random storage and displays. Here is another over-the-door hanger, and I have papers in here for jellies, some ephemera, vintage papers. I have some projects that I've made. This is really pretty, foil and embossing with alcohol ink. I think that's really pretty. And then this is a card that I made for embossing. and, you know, just random mixed media. Made some paper cuts in Hebrew, and I just laminated it. So I'll try to put this back without ripping the whole thing down. Okay, here's some more beautiful artwork with embossing. It's just aluminum foil and alcohol ink. I worked on a project with my kids. Wow, this is 2014, long time ago. And I just keep all that stuff. This is where I used to have my my stamps and embossing folder, but I found another home, as you saw earlier. I have a bunch of stickers that I yet to put in here. This is a homemade jelly plate. These are texture plates right here, and I'm not going to take all of these out because you can see them through the bag. But these are texture plates that I use for the jelly printer, or the jelly plate. Random bags, just for when you make crafts and stuff and you just want to put them in there. I use the sides for some tools. There's a hair dryer. Over here, I have it for my wax paper, saran wrap, aluminum foil, you know, parchment, stuff like that. So, yeah, this is what I have for my room. And I much rather look at something pretty like that than an old closet. So I do have stuff to do here yet, but that's it for this. Oh, I was going to show you my stencil collection. And if I don't make the chair run into anything, sorry. I found this thing at Goodwill, and I couldn't believe. Now this is too heavy for me, so what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna plop it on the floor and go like that. Okay, so I have every stencil, I think, known to mankind. Again, I have a problem. It's called full set syndrome, but when I die, someone's going to be very, very happy. Anyway, I found this binder at Goodwill, and it had all of these plastic folders in it. Are you kidding me? It was $4. When do you ever get good deals at Goodwill for $4? I mean, look at all that. There's got to be several hundred pages there. So, of course, I scooped that up. And, oh my gosh, it's very heavy. But it fits nicely. It fits nicely here. All right. Now, I have exhausted myself thoroughly, and I am going to take a rest. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And just remember, with God, all things are possible. And I want to thank you for sticking with me if you've gone this far in this video. But like I said, this is just for my personal insurance video. I usually do this once a year, but I thought I would do a comprehensive one in case, God forbid, worst case scenario. So anyway, I hope you have a wonderful, blessed day. I'm going to go sit down, catch a breath, and yeah, happy creating. God bless you. Bye-bye.